I'm unusually excited today because I'm going to introduce you to one of the best deals in Vegas. The endless hype about the death of Vegas all-you-can-eat, total nonsense. In fact, it feels like almost every week a new one pops up. And this week, Lady Luck just tilted the dice in our favor once again as a brand new Ace Buffet has newly begun. For just $22.95, you have 1 hour to feast like royalty on all the dim sum you can eat. And if you write a Yelp or post anything about them on social media, they'll also give you a free beverage. How great is that? So no, Vegas isn't done with buffets or all-you-can-eat deals, not even close. And this is by far the best dim sum deal in town. Most likely, the best deal of any kind right now. Hong Kong Garden Seafood and Dim Sum Cafe is their name. They're a long-standing local favorite, located smack in the heart of our world-class Chinatown. Welcome to Let's Eat Vegas. I'm an award-winning chef, and I'll always give you my honest opinion about the good, the bad, and the delicious. Okay, let's get started. Wow, talk about getting off to a flying start. One bite, and I already can't wait to come back here when I'm not filming, because I'll be ordering several plates of these. They're absolutely fantastic. The wontons are fried to golden perfection, crisp, light, and not a trace of grease to be found. The exterior practically shatters when you bite into it, giving way to a hot, juicy shrimp filling that's pure happiness in a crunch. I hope I'll be seeing this filling more today, as it's loaded with flavor and that signature bounce. And the dipping sauce, sweet honey mayo, ties it all together beautifully. Even the presentation here deserves a shout out. We ordered 5 items in this first round, and every dish looks beautiful. Anyway, whatever you do, don't skip these. A quick aside, it was a difficult day as we were seated near a horribly cranky old woman with bad hearing. So we got to hear all of her comments she thought she was whispering to her hostages. I mean friends.
I wouldn't be caught dead in that outfit.
Unlike some dim sum dishes that can take time to grow on you, shumai is love at first bite. It's one of the most universally adored dumplings you'll find at any dim sum house. Simple, comforting, and satisfying in every way. Shumai has a long history throughout Asia, dating back to the Yuan dynasty in China. Over time, it evolved into countless regional versions, each reflecting local tastes and ingredients. In Hawaii, you'll find it's known as pork hash, a beloved staple at mom-and-pop shops and lunch counters, often made a bit larger than its more delicate Cantonese cousin. Well, here at Hong Kong Garden, shumai strikes that perfect balance. It's hearty, yet elegant, generously filled with shrimp, pork, and a hint of garlic, then crowned with bright orange fish roe for a pop of color and briny flavor. They're plump, juicy, and wonderfully fresh. One bite, and you'll understand why this dumpling has conquered hearts across continents. Take my advice, don't skip these. You'll love them as much as I do.
You had me at dumpling.
This isn't my first visit here, so I expected the Har Gow, as before, to be a masterclass in flavor, technique, and balance. And they did not disappoint. As many of you know from my videos, my very first job as a teenager was in a Chinese restaurant in Torrance, California. The owner, Rose, treated me like her adopted son and taught me how to make these delicate little works of art. They're deceptively simple, but incredibly hard to perfect. Make the dough too thick, and it turns stodgy and heavy. Too thin, and it tears apart in the steamer. True Har Gow should be almost transparent, with a soft silver sheen, thin enough that you can just make out the shrimp inside. These, absolutely beautiful, nearly perfect really. This dim sum is top class. The shrimp filling is fresh, the seasoning subtle, and the quality unmistakably high. Well, here's where we jump the rails, as this one misses the mark for me. The dough is gummy, and not in that pleasantly chewy, glutinous way, but in a way that feels undercooked and heavy. The texture's just off. The filling doesn't do much to redeem it either. If I hadn't read the menu, honestly, I wouldn't know what I was eating at all. The pork and shrimp are under-seasoned and bland, and the peanuts, rather than adding crunch or contrast, just make things more confusing. For me, it's a muddled mix that never quite comes together. Maybe they needed a bit more time in the steamer or a stronger hand with the seasoning. But whatever it is, this one falls flat. Luckily, the menu here is packed with other hits, and this is all you can eat. So I'm not dwelling on it. I'm just moving on to greener pastures. These pork pies are outstanding. You can tell right away they make the flaky exteriors in-house. The dough is buttery, delicate, and makes a beautiful mess the moment you bite into them. That's exactly how it should be. Inside is their house-made chashu pork, sweet and savory with just the right balance of soy, honey, and 5-spice. You can even order the barbecue pork on its own with the all-you-can-eat deal. And trust me, I'm coming back for more of it. It's that good. Baked barbecue pork pie is a Cantonese dim sum classic that evolved from traditional meat pastries of southern China. It became a tea house favorite in Hong Kong during the early 20th century, offering a flakier, Western-influenced pie crust alternative to steamed buns. I'm thoroughly loving these. They're fantastic from top to bottom. And they remind me why this dim sum dish is a beautiful blend of East meets West. If Hong Kong Garden had had a subscribe button at the table, I'd be hitting it right about now. Hopefully you feel the same about our channel and want to move out of what YouTube tells us is the 60% of viewers who aren't subscribed. What? Subscribing is free, helps us grow, and lets us keep bringing you more of the good, the bad, and the delicious. And when you do subscribe, be sure to tap the notifications bell so you won't miss any of our new reviews. YouTube doesn't always notify you otherwise. And hey, YouTube just added a brand new feature called Hype. It's an easy way to show support for videos you love. So if you enjoy what we do, give this video a hype. It really helps us reach more food lovers. And if you'd like to go one step further, you can always buy us a coffee using the link in the description below. Every little bit helps us keep exploring more great Vegas eats. Wow, another winner. I remember having these here years ago, and they were phenomenal back then, and I'm happy to say they still are. The filling is that same mixture they used in the first dish of the day, and I'm so happy we've crossed paths once again. Finely chopped shrimp bound with a little egg white and a touch of cornstarch. Simple, clean, and absolutely delicious. What really makes this special is the pairing with the green peppers. The sweetness of the shrimp filling and the gentle bitterness of the pepper balance each other out perfectly. It's one of those dishes that proves great cooking doesn't need to be complicated, just well executed. These are fantastic, and I'd order them again in a heartbeat. Here again is my favorite shrimp filling. This time, it's paired with a sweet soy glaze brushed on top, which adds a nice touch of richness. But I have to be honest, I'm not loving the eggplant itself. It has that slightly harsh, green taste eggplant can get when it's not in season, or the preparer hasn't completely siphoned off the eggplant's bitterness. Don't get me wrong, the filling is too good to waste, so I'm definitely finishing that part. But if they ask for feedback, I'd tell them the truth and hope they'd understand. Normally, when I'm dining out, I feel it's my responsibility to help make sure I have a good experience, so if I don't like something, I'll say so. But for the sake of these videos, I never send food back. I just take the hit, give you my thoughts, and move on. Still, that filling with the soy glaze, absolutely delicious. Just give me that on a dumpling next time and we're golden. Growing up Italian, I'm no stranger to tendon. My mom sneaked it into soups and stews. It adds a wonderful silky texture and robust flavor to everything. Tendon is definitely one of those dishes, though, that separates casual eaters from true food lovers. It's an acquired taste, but once you get past the texture, it becomes something you crave. Comforting, flavorful, and surprisingly nourishing. I grew up eating tendon. My mom always said it was one of nature's hidden superfoods. She wasn't wrong. Tendon is rich in collagen, the same protein that keeps our skin elastic, our joints healthy, and our hair strong. In Chinese cuisine, tendon has long been prized for its restorative properties, believed to strengthen the body and promote longevity. The version served here is one of the best I've had in years, perfectly seasoned with soy, garlic, and a touch of Szechuan pepper for gentle heat. It's balanced and deeply satisfying. It's nothing worse than undercooked tendon. They can be tough and rubbery, but this one is cooked to perfection, tender enough to melt in your mouth. What looks like fat isn't fat at all. It's pure collagen, transformed by slow cooking into something silky and luxurious. It's a dish that rewards patience, both in preparation and in learning to appreciate it. And once you do, you'll understand why it's beloved around the world. Eat it today, and tomorrow your skin will thank you with a glow that no cream can match. In case you're wondering what the preserved meat is, they're referring to Chinese sausage. Sweet, savory, and just a little smoky. These were a really nice surprise. I actually ordered them here once before and didn't care for them at all. But it must have been an off day. Having owned a restaurant myself, I get it. That happens. It's exactly why I decided to give them a second chance. And I am so glad I did. Today, they're spot on. Texture is perfect. Soft yet firm enough to hold its shape. And the flavor is fresh and balanced. No fishy aftertaste this time, which tells me someone in the kitchen probably went a little overboard with the shrimp paste on my previous visit. Well, whatever adjustment they made, it's working. These are the kind of turnip cakes that remind you why it's worth giving a place a second chance. Everyone has an off day, but today, they nailed it. I had to laugh when I saw these labeled as Chinese crab rangoon, because as most people might know, they were actually an American invention long before the Chinese ever embraced them. These were born out of the old tiki bar era, Don the Beachcomber, Trader Vic's, back when Polynesian cocktails and faux bamboo decor were the very height of sophistication. Okay, I might be aging myself a little there, but how many of you remember those days? Let me know in the comments. And speaking of Trader Vic's, after their demise years ago, there's a new one opening in the next few months in LA. It'll be at the intersection of Santa Monica and Doheny. Well, authentic or not, they're still delicious. Crispy, golden, and perfectly filled with that creamy crab and cream cheese mix. The outside is wonderfully crunchy, and they come with a house-made sweet and sour sauce that hits all the right notes. Just be careful when you bite into one. The cream cheese comes out piping lava hot. So sure, they're more Americana than Cantonese, but when they're this good, who really cares? These are fantastic. I'm already planning my next trip in a few days just to have more of them. This has always been one of my favorite dim sum items. The classic chashu filling with that honey-sweet, smoky five-spice flavor that every Chinese food enthusiast knows and loves. I can't wait to try their version of this wonderful chashu on its own. The exterior is that soft, golden brioche-style dough, made fresh in-house, and it's perfect. Light, buttery, and slightly sweet. One bite and it all comes together beautifully. They take me straight back to my childhood. My mom and I used to drive into Chinatown just to pick up boxes of these from the bakery. And the moment we got home, my family would tear into them as though it were Christmas morning. It's one of those simple joys that never leaves you. And here at Hong Kong Garden, it's another dish they've absolutely nailed. Now, here's a surprise. These look almost identical to those peanut shrimp dumplings I had earlier and didn't care for. But the difference is night and day. These are absolutely delicious. The dough is perfectly steamed with that ideal glutinous bounce, soft yet slightly chewy, just how it should be. And the filling, loaded with shrimp, pork, garlic, and if I'm not mistaken, a little bit of love. It honestly makes me wonder if the other batch had some kind of kitchen mishap. Well, whatever the reason, these make up for it in every way. I could eat a dozen of them without even the slightest hint of regret. Now, the name on this one is a bit misleading, since there are no pineapples injured in the making of them. They're called that because the cracked golden crust on top looks like the pattern on a pineapple skin. But trust me, once you've had one, you won't care what it's called. I fell in love with these as a kid. I still remember the first time I tried one. The filling burst out, shooting across the table onto my clothes and probably half the room. Despite the scalding, hot, sweet, eggy custard covering most of my side of the table, it didn't matter. That one bite is all it took to hook me for life. Sometimes the filling in these can be a little too runny, yes, molten lava style, but here it's just right. Warm, creamy, and smooth with a gentle vanilla flavor keeps you coming back for more. The pastry shell is flaky and tender, with just enough sweetness to complement the custard perfectly. And I love that on the all-you-can-eat menu, they only give you one at a time, probably for portion control. But if you know me, you already know what happened once the camera went off. Let's just say one wasn't enough.
That boy's a P.I.G. pig.
I don't even see these on the menu, so I'm sure I didn't order them. But who's complaining when they're this good? Sometimes the best surprises are the ones that show up at your table unannounced. Now, these aren't the traditional soup-filled xiaolongbao that gush with hot broth when you bite into them. But what they lack in soup, they more than make up for in flavor. The filling is rich, savory, and loaded with umami, almost certainly a mix of finely ground pork and shrimp. Each bite hits that perfect balance of meaty depth and delicate seasoning. Accidental or not, these are a hit. Next time, I'm not relying on happenstance. I'll be demanding them. When these are good, they're one of my all-time favorites. But today, they just didn't hit the mark. They came out a little cold, and to be honest, they're somewhat bland. The filling doesn't have much flavor at all, and that's a shame because when done right, these can be absolutely amazing. Crispy on the outside, creamy and savory inside, with that beautiful contrast of texture Taro is known for. I haven't tried them here before, so maybe this batch just wasn't their best showing. Having owned a restaurant, I know that happens. Still, I can only judge what's in front of me, and this one's a miss. But there's always next time. I remember these being really good here, and they still are. I doubt they make the sausage from scratch, but honestly, that's fine by me because the dough is fresh, soft, and yeasty, wrapping around that sweet, smoky Chinese sausage like a warm little blanket. At this point, I'm barely able to eat another bite, but these are so good, I just can't stop myself. You know that point where you say, okay, this is going to be the last one, and then you immediately reach for another. Yep, that's me right now. Simple, comforting, and absolutely delicious. This is the kind of dim sum that makes you forget you're full. If you're familiar with durian fruit, you already know it smells awful. There's really no polite way to put it. But if you can get past that famously funky aroma, you'll find that durian is actually pretty darn delicious. That strong odor is nature's way of keeping curious creatures like us humans at a distance. Now, all that being said, I did not order these because durian has been difficult for me to get past. So when, by the second accident today, they arrived at the table, it was time for me to be culinarily open-minded and give them a shot. And after all, it's all you can eat, so nothing harmed if I don't care for them. Well, I can now safely say, if you've been afraid to try these, don't be. You'd be missing out on a spectacular little pastry. There's no odor here at all, just a sweet, creamy filling that's almost custard-like, wrapped in a delicate, flaky crust. It's rich, smooth, and utterly fantastic. Durian is known throughout Southeast Asia as the king of fruits, prized in countries like Malaysia, Thailand, and Singapore for its creamy texture and deep, almost caramel-like sweetness. While many can't get past the aroma, those who do often become lifelong fans. I never thought I'd say this, but I see more of these in my future. Yet another example that many times being open-minded pays off. Here we have yet another fantastic dish. And so exciting when one of the highlights of the day also happens to be one of my all-time favorite shrimp appetizers. I make them at home all the time, and usually serve them with that classic honey walnut shrimp sauce. You know, the mayo-based one made with sweetened condensed milk and a drizzle of honey. It's pure magic. Well, here, they've nailed it. The shrimp balls are crisp on the outside, perfectly golden, and beautifully light. You'll want to eat a mountain of them, and when I come back and aren't filming, I most certainly will. The inside is springy, juicy, and packed with fresh shrimp flavor. So perfect to cap off this meal right where it began, with more of this fantastic shrimp filling. I simply can't get enough, and I think you'll feel the same. If there's one thing this meal proves, it's that dim sum, and particularly the all-you-can-eat experience in Vegas, are very much alive and well. Hong Kong Garden is the perfect example of a Chinatown restaurant putting care into every bamboo basket and baked bun that comes out of the kitchen. Sure, not every dish was a home run. That's part of the fun. Dim sum is about discovery, the hits, the misses, and the surprises that land in front of you when you least expect them. Well, nearly every dish here was a hit, from those nearly perfect Har Gow to the sweet baked pork buns, and of course any dish with that amazing shrimp filling, such as the crispy shrimp wontons and the fried shrimp ball, both of which still fill my dreams. It's clear the chefs here know their craft. And as if that's not enough, the $22.95 price tag is shockingly good. Consider this. Looking at their menu, the fried shrimp ball alone is normally priced at $8. So as part of an all-you-can-eat for just $22.95? Well, as my Uncle Sal used to say, that's not a deal, it's a steal. Now, I'll admit, the 60-minute time limit does sound pretty constraining, but the food comes out fast, and I'm sure most people will be full within the allotted time. So if you're looking for the best dim sum deal in Vegas, well, hell, possibly the best deal period, look no further. We'll be back very soon to Hong Kong Garden. In fact, I've been back twice since we filmed this review, and each time had similarly wonderful experiences. And fortunately, we didn't run into that caustic deaf old woman again. Believe me, we PG-13'd her remarks. I shudder to think what she would say if she watched this video. Take my advice. Don't skip these. You'll love them as much as I do.
You had me at dumplings.
I can't stand that crab.
Still hungry? Then don't stop now. You won't want to miss these next videos. And of course, it's always a good time to like, subscribe, comment, or share. It's free to do so, and it helps us to grow and to bring you more reviews. Until we eat again, bon appetit.